So when I say ideology, I mean your worldview, the way you view the world, the way you think of things as being right or wrong, the identities that you have attached to yourself is controlling the way you interact with other people, the choices you make, who you vote for, like all of these things. And I just want you to consider a different way. Hey, welcome to my channel. This is Spirit Soul Sense, Information for Your Soul. I am Shareece, and I like to think of myself as being like a very open, non-judgmental sort of person. And I try to stay away from labels. Labels are very important for us to understand each other, understand the world. But when you become identified with a label, for example, Democrat or Republican or Black woman, right? A label, you can like really narrow yourself to a strict set of beliefs and way of behaving. This tends to lead to rejecting anything that opposes the way you see the world. So if we just take like what's happening right now in America, this is a presidential election year. And I think America is the most divided that it has ever been. I think our president is one of the most divisive kind of people. And when I say divisive, I mean he has such polarizing, right? It's either people really, really, really love him or people really, really, really hate him. And I tend to see like these two ends of the spectrum as like very similar. I have a whole other video on like YouTube thinks I'm a conservative or like Republican, whatever. And the point of it is really not that they're the same, because I know I've had like a friend of mine, critics say Republicans, Democrats, they're not exactly the same, but the idea, like the thinking that goes behind wanting to choose a side is the same. Thinking that the other side is the other, that the other side is bad and like needs to be, I don't know, abolished, taken down, not voted for. That ideology is what I guess most people kind of subscribe to. So I don't identify as anything. I really like to think of myself as more balanced. I can see some benefits of like the conservative viewpoint, and I can see some benefits of the liberal viewpoint. To me, they're both necessary, right? Like we need different points of view to succeed as a society. So I'm not really here to bash either side. I am here to tell you that, for example, whatever your political beliefs are, you don't have to be so strict and so like attached to your side, because there are other ways of like experiencing the world. So the one thing I really, really want to leave you with in this video is be curious. Be curious about other people, especially other people who are different than you. That's really the one thing that has led to reduced racism in the country, reduced bigotry. Being exposed to different worldviews, different lifestyles, different ways of being can really open up your worldview. And so I would encourage you to ask questions. Like, I think it's very, very important not to take everything that you see in the media, especially if you're using Facebook as your news. It's very important to not view everything as truth automatically and to not be 100% confident in everything that you read. I think it's much more helpful to be a critical consumer of the information that we're receiving and to assume that you are not getting the full picture of anything that comes in the news. If you just think about in your own personal life and rumors that you may have heard about yourself or about somebody else, it's usually missing information. Like most of us don't have 100% information on anything that's happening right now in the world. Not Mr. Trump and his coronavirus diagnosis, not like world politics. We don't know what's happening in China. Not really. We can like guess, we can assume, we can latch on to conspiracy theories because they make us feel better about ourselves and more secure, but we don't really know anything. And so I really encourage people to get good with being unsure, like not knowing and not being 100% sure about anything that's happening. And then you will be able to tell yourself a different story. So if you are a Trump supporter and you like hate everyone who's not, or if you are anti-Trump and you hate everyone who's a Trump supporter, you might be able to exist somewhere in the gray area where maybe not all Trump supporters are bad and maybe not all of the people on the left are, I don't know, what did they say? Communists or Marxists or whatever. That, there are extremes in everything in life and in people. But I think it's really, really important to just think for a moment that the way you see the world is one way of seeing the world. And there are so many other ways of seeing the world, existing in the world, and that we can get along, not in spite of our differences, but because of our differences. I think our differences are what helps to make the world like such a beautiful place. Don't you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you for watching.